I'm not sure about you guys, but I actually really enjoyed the last couple years of Pokemon on the Switch. Legends Arceus was extremely refreshing. I feel like that game was a twist and was like unexpected. I was not expecting that game to be so fun. Scarlet and Violet, take aside all the performance issues, those games were super fun. I really thoroughly enjoyed the big open world game. The storyline was pretty interesting in that, and I just really enjoyed kind of all the new mechanics and everything like that. However, I gotta say this now because I know somebody's gonna comment. I love the OG Pokemon games. Like Gen 1 through 6 even actually are kind of my favorite generation. Gen 5 is the GOAT. Honorable mention out here, Pokemon Emerald, such an amazing game. But for the future of Pokemon games, the next generation being Generation 10, more Legends games that are going to come after ZA, like hopefully a Legends Alola or like a Legends Celebi would be really cool to see. I think that the future Pokemon games are going to be refreshing on the Switch too. I think it's obvious that Game Freak and Pokemon and, Nintendo, I guess, it's always so confusing talking about them because it's those three companies that actually own Pokemon. It's Game Freak, Nintendo, and then the Pokemon Company, which is so weird. However, I'm sure you guys don't want to talk about that right now, but I think the future of Pokemon is going to be changing a lot, especially since we have the Switch 2, which we've been over this a million times. The Switch 2 is bigger and better than the Switch, so it's going to allow us to have bigger and better Pokemon games, hopefully just like better graphics overall. Like, I don't want realistic graphics, I just want a thoroughly built, really awesome animated Pokemon game with extremely distinct and unique art styles, just like Legends Arceus. That's part of the reason why I love Legends Arceus, is because of the fact that the graphics are so unique. I feel like that specifically can make a game nostalgic, and that's what I hope to see for more Pokemon games going on in the future. Legends Arceus introduced kind of like the open world style of Pokemon games to us. We had a little bit of open world in Sword and Shield, and obviously Scarlet and Violet were open world, but Legends Arceus came out before Scarlet and Violet, so that's why I'm saying, Legends Arceus introduced us to that kind of like open world style, where we can just freely explore, catch Pokemon, complete different missions, and then Scarlet and Violet took it to an even more open world style, where you could tackle different objectives in any order, which was a first for the series. Like, the gym battles were not in a specific order, which I don't necessarily mind all that much. However, I do prefer the original kind of style where it's, you go from gym 1, 2, then 3, so forth and stuff like that, where it's like a specific order. I actually do prefer that. But if we do have to have this style of a Pokemon game where the gym battles are no specific order, it'd be nice if like the game could automatically kind of like level up the Pokemon of that gym battle to our Pokemon, just kind of make it more of an even kind of battle. And the reason why the gym order was so weird in Scarlet and Violet was pretty much because the game is open world. So that way you had the ability to explore the entire map pretty much without, being locked out of a gym battle or like a city. However, I don't know, they could have just made it so the gym battles were locked. I feel like they could have done a workaround, but kind of makes sense. But also, I prefer the original. Like, the Pokemon catching mechanics seem to be changing. Like, Legends Arceus and Scarlet and Violet had different catching mechanics, and it seems like ZA is going to be pretty similar to Legends Arceus. It looks a little bit different, but I think it's going to be pretty much the same. The future of Pokemon on the Switch 2, I hope to see just a more immersive world design. Like Generation 10, I hope we get to go into every single building. I hope we get to dive underwater again in an open world sense, and that'd be so cool. I would love to see that in an open world Pokemon game. I was hoping to see that in Scarlet and Violet. I really don't think we would have been able to like dive just because of the performance of that game, but the tone and the lore of Legends Arceus was super cool because it explored ancient Sinnoh with a darker and more serious tone. Like, the tone of Arceus is definitely more mature, which, the storyline of Scarlet and Violet is actually kind of dark, but I feel like they did it in kind of like a kiddish way, like a childish tone, which makes sense. Pokemon games are for kids, but let's be real, guys. But what I also loved about Legends Arceus is that it explored and deepened the lore of a Pokemon region that we've already known. Like, it's the Hisui region, which is just kind of like ancient Sinnoh, a couple hundred years before, Sinnoh was Sinnoh, which I think is super cool. That's why I love Legends games. I just made a video a couple days ago about how I think the Legends games could be a trilogy. However, I would prefer them not to be a trilogy because I want them to stay. I want to get a Legends game for every single region because of the fact that it's like we get to revisit a region that we know and love, but just with a whole new storyline, some brand new lore, maybe some returning characters here and there, but obviously new characters, regional variants and stuff like that, which seems like Legends ZA is not going to have any regional variants, which is a little unfortunate, but it's okay because we're getting those new mega evolutions. But I remember my first time playing Arceus, the tutorial was insane. The tutorial for that game was way too long. I'm like, bro, I've played almost every single Pokemon game. I think I get it. So I hope for future Pokemon games that the tutorials aren't as insane. You know what I'm saying? Such a refreshing feel. Like, the first time playing that game, It was so refreshing. It was so interesting, like going all over the world. And now I don't want every single Pokemon game to be open world going on in the future. It would be nice if they could mix it up a bit, have some being open world, some, you know, the linear kind of original play style. But I don't know. Like, I really don't know if they're going to continue to do anything linear or like the original kind of play, like the top-down play style, aside from some of the remakes. And what's interesting is like when they move on to the eventual Gen 7, Gen 8, and Gen 9 remakes, how are they going to do that? Like, how in the world are they going to remake those games? Because Gen 7 wasn't open world, but allowed us to like kind of move around a little bit more than Gen 6 and Gen 5 and everything like that. But I don't know, those are so far away. Like the remakes for Gen 6, 7, 8, and 9 and whatever, it's like, bro, that's like way too far in the future. I might not even be alive by the time Gen 9 remakes come out. Hopefully I will be alive then, but we'll see. I just can't wait to see all the new playstyles for Generation 10, 11, 12, because I feel like every game is going to be different. Every single Switch game in general was different from the last on as far as Pokemon games go. So I'm thinking for the Switch 2, it's going to be no different. I feel like every single game is going to be so unique from the last one, so distinct, different art styles, and like I said, we're probably going to get more Legends games. Generation 10 is probably going to come out next year. And then we have like a leak from the Terra leak, which was talking about how we're probably going to get some sort of new open world Pokemon game that's not related to Generation 10 and that's not related to Legends ZA, or like that's not even related to a Legends game in general. So we could be getting like another additional kind of Pokemon game, I guess, to go along with the mainline games, because Legends games are mainline games, as well as the new Generation games. Like Generation 10 is going to be a mainline game. Legends ZA is a mainline game. But I really hope for the future Pokemon games we can get that refreshing feeling from every single game, that every single game has such a unique lore, some obviously new Pokemon designs, like cool new Pokemon designs, which I feel like the last couple generations, the Pokemon designs have been kind of getting worse and worse, but I have hope for the future because we just need to have some new concepts, new ideas of Pokemon. So I'm not really worried about the designs of future Pokemon, but I'm excited for the future of Pokemon. I think that it's going to be refreshing. I can't wait to see the first like Switch 2 exclusive Pokemon game. ZA is going to be on the Switch 1 and 2, obviously, so it's not going to be an exclusive Switch 2 game, but it's going to be interesting to see how the game runs on the Switch 2 compared to the Switch 1, like when the game officially like actually releases. But for like the next Legends games, it would be cool if we get to explore some, you know, wars or something that we always have the lore about in Pokemon games, or just like get to reimagine some of the old regions. Like I would love a Legends Alola game. Even though the Sun and Moon games aren't really my favorite Pokemon games, I think a Legends game is absolutely perfect for the Alola region. I swear. And Johto, of course. I think Johto and Alola are the best regions for a Legends game. And I guess Unova too, but I feel like we're not going to get a Unova Legends game for a while because we're probably going to get the Gen 5 remakes for the next Gen 5 games. But I guess what fans really want overall is just like innovation, a little bit of nostalgia, some unique vibes, some OG vibes going on, but I guess we'll see what's going to happen. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you are a real one watching this far in the video, comment down below your favorite candy of all time. Just let me know you're watching this far in the video and that you are a real one. Hope you guys have a fantastic day. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.
Someone